going to talk about transformative thinking, where it starts, what it is, how does it affect you, how can you use it to affect the world around you. Well, it's very simple. I started out the other day with a description of what I think is going to lead to this and help somebody understand this. And I gave somebody this advice the other day, a friend of mine. And it is that it is best when we are faced with highly stressful situations. It is much better for us if, instead of reacting, which is always a knee-jerk, which is fast, it happens, there's no way to completely come down and recover from that. But if you just, all you're giving is a knee-jerk reaction, then really you're going to struggle with being able to put these concepts into practice. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that instead of reacting, which is sudden, it's fast, it's there, it's hard to come any other way except for that. The best thing to do is, instead of react, is to give what I call a response. Taking a step back mentally from the situation that you're facing and taking a deep breath is entirely beneficial to that situation. And you may ask, what for? How does that work? How is that beneficial? And I'm glad you asked that question, because I'm going to give you a good answer. Taking a step back, even for that little bit of time, that little half second. First of all, it prevents you from shooting over the mouth and saying something you didn't mean to say. You didn't want to say, you weren't going to say, but you said anyway. So keep that in mind. Also, there is another part of this that I think we need to hear and understand and know. And that is that it gives our brain a moment to catch up with our mouth. It allows us the opportunity, it affords us the opportunity of being able to step in and say, hang on just a minute. Before I say something I don't mean to say, before I say something that's going to get me in trouble and make everybody in the house mad, before we do that, let my brain catch up. Let my mouth calm down. And then let's take a look and see if I'm thinking this thing through correctly. Believe it or not, folks, this is what is known as wisdom. Simply that. Simply that. It's simple wisdom. It is so easy. It is so easy to understand. We need to use wisdom in our lives to address things. What is wisdom? If you go look at the dictionary, it says that wisdom is a deep understanding or knowledge of a subject. In other words, it's the ability to use that knowledge, to use your experience, to use common sense. That's something I don't think we have a whole lot more of in this day and age. Common sense and your own personal insight. If you've been through something before and you're going through it again, instead of asking, why am I going through it again, you should recognize that, hey, I've already been here, so now I know how to deal with this. Use that common sense and let that be something that teaches you. It needs to teach you. It needs to help you. So use a little bit of wisdom, that knowledge, that experience, that common sense, that insight. If you look, wisdom, through all of the ages, through all the great minds, the great thinkers, through all the people that have done anything, I want to give you something here that is pretty good. Wisdom is associated with attributes like unbiased judgment, because it's difficult to be biased and be wise. So unbiased judgment is so important for us to understand. Wisdom is also associated with compassion. That means compassion for everyone around us. It's also associated with virtues like ethics and benevolence. So if the goal, remember what I told you, a better me means a better world. Whatever my vision is for a better me means that I'm going to make my world better. So if the goal is to change my thinking so that whatever it is I'm dealing with and having difficulty is to make a better me, then we need to look and understand at how wisdom applied can change your life. I'm going to tell you, there are three things that can happen. If you have given up on seeing change in your life, you can see change. Absolutely can see change in your life. If you are going to see change in your life, you can see different results than you've been seeing. But this is something I want you to drive home to today. If you're not getting what you want out of life, folks, the simple solution is this. The simple solution is this. If you are not getting what you want out of life, you have to understand that before that can happen, you got to change your mind. I hope you heard me there. You've got to change your mind. In other words, you've got to change the way you think, the way you accept processes into your brain. Those are things that need to change. And they can. They very much can. It's very, very possible for that to happen. Yes, it is. So how do you affect change? Because one of the hardest parts about people overcoming things, honestly, some of the hardest things that people have faced is this. How can I affect change? Because I struggle with that. I don't always do good with that. So how can I make sure that I'm doing good with that? I'm going to give you the answer to that if I could. You have to make a conscious decision to make a change. That change needs to be made not just, a casual thinking, but it needs to be made as a way of life. Now, if you say I don't understand that, well, I want to say it like this. I'm trying to locate a graphic. I have one. I just didn't think I had it far enough. I had to do this as usual. But let me put it to you this way. And this is something I want you to get. I want you to understand this is good. That if you think of your state of mind, that thing that causes you to wake up angry or happy, causes you to react any certain way, specific, whatever, if you find yourself in the position where you want to be able to change the way you think, then I would highly suggest that you listen to what I tell you on this. If you think about the state of mind that you have right now, good, bad, what has caused your state of mind? Likely, it is what has been fed into your mind. So, one of the things is, I call this the process. The process, and it's actually a process built into a circle. It's a circle process. So if you're watching this later on video in one of the podcasts, I'm going to incorporate this in. If you're not watching it, I want to give you this anyway. So if you imagine that your state of mind, top and bottom of that, you got a funnel. The good things are going to be fed from the top funnel. Let's say the bad things are going to be fed out of the bottom funnel. Whatever's fed into you is going to feed your state of mind. Whatever feeds your state of mind is going to give you the ability to make thoughts and decisions. We want more results. So we have to ask the question, what results are you seeing? Are you seeing good results? Are you seeing bad results? Are you where you want to be? Or are you where you feel like you're in a position where you're being taught, you're being brought into that place? And sometimes the difference between those two places is a country mile. The distance between them is a country mile. Because to be honest with you, if some of us look this question dead in the eye. Somebody says to you, are you where you wanted to be? I'm not where I want to be. And truthfully, I'm not where I thought I would be. I'm not where I planned to be. I went through so much. I've endured all of that. I've struggled, I've pushed, I've tried, I've worked. And what's the result so far? Am I where I wanted to be? Again, if you're not getting right results, you're not feeding the right things into the funnel that feeds your state of mind. Whatever you do, learn to feed your state of mind what it needs to succeed. Whatever positivity, if you can't handle negativity, don't let negativity be spoken around you. Walk off. Tell somebody, you can't talk about negative things around me right now. I'm not equipped to handle those things at this time. I need to get my head in a good space so I can get the right results, because whatever you feed in is going to reinforce your state of mind. Whatever you have in your state of mind is going to affect your thoughts and your decisions, which are going to affect your actions, which are going to give you results. So if you start feeding better things in, you're going to get better things out. Results is what I want, and I don't just want results. I want good results. And how do I get good results? I get good results by my actions. Actions are the last thing that happen before we get results. Every one of us, doesn't matter where we are in life, doesn't matter where we're at in our journey. Every one of us, we are where we are because of the actions we took. And for some of us, life can happen pretty fast. Some very fast, sudden life changes. Some of us made decisions years ago, or made a series of decisions. Some of us found ourselves in crisis, and that's what drove us. And for some, it was just everyday living. It just happened to be Monday all day. And whatever the reason was, listen, Your today, honestly, is a result of your yesterday. Your results are caused by your actions. Remember cause and effect. It not just that your results are caused by your actions, but the results that you have are going to eventually lead back around to your state of mind because it's feeding back into you. And then it's going to go back into your thoughts and decisions, and that's going to give you the actions for tomorrow, which is going to give you different results for tomorrow. So what causes actions? Well, you have to view actions as the effect in the cause and effect. It's not the cause, the action is the effect. And with that in mind, with that movement, now we can discover what's the cause of the actions that's got us to our results. Cause and effect. There is only one driving force that creates the actions that brought us to our results. There's only one driving force that creates the actions that brought us to our results. And that is, what are you feeding into your brain? What are you feeding into your mindset? From there, are you letting that feed your mindset to the point where it's affecting you? Because then it's going to affect your thoughts and decisions. And then it's going to affect your actions, and that's going to give you the results. So it all goes back to your mindset. This is what I'm talking about, changing your mind. Changing your mind. We kind of touched on this today, but in our next podcast, we're going to do episode 2. We're going to talk about what goes in has to come out. Whatever you're feeding into your mindset is going to come out. I'm glad you joined with us today. I want to say again, please look in our description. Link along with welcome. Good to see you. Good to have you with us today. I do want to challenge you, though, to focus on your mindset, to focus on the things that you're feeding into your mindset. I want to challenge you to focus on determining where you want to be in your journey. And ask yourself, am I at a place where I'm making good decisions or bad decisions? Sometimes you have to be brutally honest with this. And you just need to say, I've got to feed better things into my mindset. Once I start feeding better things into my mindset, then I'm going to be able to have clearer thinking, which is going to lead to better decision making, which is going to lead to different actions, which is going to lead to better results. Those better results are going to feed right back into your mindset. It's a circle. It's a process. So whatever you're thinking, whatever actions you're taking, if it's not going the way you think it should go, you need to change how you think. You need to feed better things in. I want to say this. I said earlier that we sometimes may have to stop people from talking negativity around us just because we're not in the headspace to accept it. But sometimes we have to understand that we're the ones that's speaking that negativity around us. You can't get away from yourself. So we're speaking that negativity. We're the ones pulling those things toward us that we don't need. So the best thing we can do is get on that circle process. Make sure that whatever you're feeding in, whether it be through you, through someone else, through your environment, is the most positive thing that it can be, so that it affects your mindset, so that it affects your thoughts and decisions, which is going to affect your actions, which will affect your results. That's the magic word, results. And if you're not getting the results you want, it's because you're feeding the wrong thing in. You're feeding the wrong thing in. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. I want to encourage you to join us for our next session. What goes in must come out. We're going to talk about the blueprint for your life. We're going to talk about how these positive thoughts and negative thoughts, how they affect us. Remember this, whatever is affecting your state of mind is what's going to be the thing that causes you to either launch toward success or to run toward failure. And I'm not here to see you run toward failure. I want to see you here to be healthy. I want to see you here to be wise, to making the best decisions you can. And I want to see you successful. That's all I want. I've been in this a long time, and I've learned that these fundamental practices really do work. Because as long as I'm working on me, a better me means a better world. Please remember to visit our Patreon site, patreon.com/Yuza Bigman. We will have our website up soon. It is not yet up, but you can visit our merch store if you will, merch.streamelements.com/Yuza Bigman. What's a simple exercise to do daily? Let me reinforce, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. As I was talking about, what's feeding in and what's going out, the best thing you can do, the last part usually that causes the result is the mouth. And I'll say this again. I said this at the top of the program. But we need to use wisdom in our decision making. And I'm going to give you something that you can do today, you can do tomorrow, you can do any day. And that is, no matter what happens, if you want to get something better fed into your brain, practice responding and not reacting. Reactions are knee-jerk, they're fast, they come from a place of just an animalistic nature. That's just something that happens so quick. That's why they're reactions. If the doctor hits your knee with a hammer, your leg gonna pop up because it's your reactions. It's something you have really low control over. However, what you can control is your response. Unfortunately, most people, they don't take time to respond in wisdom. They just react. So the best thing you can do is practice wisdom. Practice wisdom. And here's how you do that. If somebody says something that makes you angry, upset, that derails your thinking, that gets you off of this path of being prepared, then what you need to do, instead of reacting on the sudden, just stop, step back mentally from the situation. Take a breath, let it sit for a second, and give your brain the chance to catch up with your mouth before your mouth runs off. Trust me, I've had to tell myself this a lot. I speak to myself brutally honest about this. So once I get to that point, then I can answer from a place of wisdom and not from a place of stress. That is a great exercise to use, whether you're at home, at work, at school, whether you're around family, doesn't matter who, doesn't matter where. But respond on purpose without reacting. Use wisdom and give your mind a chance to catch up before you let your mouth run. I don't mean to sound that as directly, but I hope that helps. Lingalonga, you're certainly welcome. I do hope that helps. Y'all be sure to catch us next time. Thank you for joining in with us, and I trust that you are really blessed. Have a great day.